American Reading Company is really not just a change in a product going from company A to company B. It's really a paradigm shift in the thinking about how we're going to work with students.
I've always had kids of different reading levels in my classroom, and I feel like one of the things that I've always been good at is getting students to want to do well, and they like coming to my class. But honestly, up until 2 years ago, I really wasn't sure what I was doing as far as teaching students to read. These ladies know way more than I do. That was not my arena. I'm a secondary ed person. And now all of a sudden, I have to acknowledge the fact that I have children in my 6th grade classroom who are on a 3rd grade reading level or 2nd. I never really had to acknowledge that before because I didn't have a way to assess them, which is where the ERLA comes in. It is taking that job on and that responsibility of, okay, this child has gotten here now somehow and is not up to where they should be as far as reading. So now we have these tools. We can at least identify where they are and then move forward from there rather than just kind of pushing them through the system. This is actually real. You're in the trenches figuring out exactly what they need, what each kid needs as an individual.
It's a great point that when we say we have students in secondary schools that are still at elementary reading levels, we're still teaching some of those foundational pieces for those students. And that is one of the exciting parts about the program is that it does give tangible tools to teachers, and it does give students real specific goals to grow from. So
a lot of the ownership has come back to the kids, and so they've been made responsible now for their individual goals. So they're somewhat in the driver's seat of what they're doing, and the teachers are no longer teaching to the whole, but now to 24, 25 individuals. So, you know, teachers are now delivering a skill or a standard, and then the kids are taking that, and then they're all working on it in their own book, on their own level, with their own power goal. And so it's really been a shift of responsibility for everybody.
Sure.
So it's been exciting to see the kids really take ownership of that.
The shift moves from I teach 3rd grade, or I teach reading, to now I teach Scott, I teach Casey, I teach Christine, I teach Danielle. That's a big change in the way we think about instruction. And so that is hard, and it requires a lot more preparation, a lot more thinking on both the student and in the teacher.
Our main challenge was time management in the classroom. You also have to figure out, okay, what is every child's strengths and weaknesses? And in years past, I would always have teachers come to me and say, you know, I have a student that's, you know, reading well above grade level. What do I do? Now the ERLA answers that. There's a resource now there for them, for the higher level learner and your lower level learner. So that's nice to see. But as a parent, I want my child to be met with one-on-one or in small group. I don't want just whole group instruction all day long for my own children. I want the teacher to know his or her strengths and weaknesses. So as a parent, it makes me feel better too.
That's great. Sounds like the conversation shifted from, you know, used to be, well, Johnny's not a good reader, but now it's Johnny's not good at this specific skill. And then not only do we identify that, but that we also have a place that we can go and say, okay, in order to get better at this skill, here are some of the tools and resources that are available.
Sometimes it's 1 or 2 little gaps, and that's it. And then they soar. And that is so empowering for me and for them because, you know, they come in, I have a real conversation, you know, you're on a 2nd grade reading level. Let's figure out what we need to do to get you out of it. It's not a negative conversation, but it's a very honest conversation. They're in middle school at this point. And again, it is their ownership. They're learning much earlier now that they have to own their reading, own their power goal.
Our library staff has had trouble keeping up with the books coming in and out. And so they have now taught the kids how to check in and check out their own books so they can keep up with the demand of the kids being able to come in and check, you know, so because the kids just want more books and they want more books and they want
There's been a huge cultural shift in my building. I've been there 18 years and I've never seen anything like it. From a personal standpoint, my son was a 2nd grader last year, so this is his 2nd year in the program, and has always been behind in reading. Never liked to read, and as a reading specialist, it was like heartbreaking. His older sister has always loved to read, but he started 2nd grade 2 levels below where he should be, and once he hit grade level, it was like a spark. He was just like, okay, I want to keep reading. I want the next color folder. And now he's in 3rd grade. He's reading on grade level. He's reading series of books. For his birthday party, he wanted all the kids to come and read. I get accosted.
Come on, you're making that up.
I'm not even kidding. Not even kidding.
Principal at the Davenport school said the kids came in the front door. Instead of talking about what they got for Christmas or Hanukkah or the holidays, they were talking about how many books they read.
Yep. It's great to see them celebrating an academic success.
I think the most powerful thing for me is the conversations amongst the teachers about specific students and how to help them and strategies that they've used, and that collaboration, and even opening their classrooms to each other to come in and to see what's going on. I think for me, that's exciting because we're each other's best resources.
Another big part of it, which I think is also unique to this program, is that there's required reading that they do at home. So they're taking those library books from our libraries or from the classroom library sets or from the county library, and they're reading on their own time. And keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a fantastic job. And please share it to your colleagues that we appreciate it, and I know our community appreciates it, because in the end, our kids are going to do better, and they're going to be better prepared for the future, which we know is changing dramatically. So again, thank you for your time today, and we appreciate it.